Sheriff. I appreciate that. And again, thanks to everybody who's come out tonight, and those of you in the audience to support your commission. And I'm going to keep my mask off, but that's okay, just because I have to do all the talking. So I'm up here by myself. Before we move on tonight, I know you see that there's a lot of different things here in the courtroom, and when I get to the announcements, I'm going to go around and explain a little bit of that so everybody here knows and everybody at home knows what's going on. But with that being said, we will start with number 2 on the agenda, and that's the invocation. And before we get started on that, just remember, my goodness, we have so many folks that are in need of prayer, so many sick. As you guys know, our very own one of our commissioners, Earl Cox, has just got home from the hospital. I guess last week it was with COVID. Talked to him today. He's in good spirits, and you can tell he's having trouble breathing. He's on oxygen and all that, so he still has a long ways to go. So remember, as we call him Frog, remember Frog in your prayers. Also remember Joyce. We always remember her in our thoughts and prayers. Remember Deborah. I know Dawn has some folks in her family that are sick as well. So honestly, at this point in time, I think we all in this room have someone we know who's suffering from this or something. So let's just remember to keep each other in our thoughts and prayers. So before that, or before we pray, does anybody else have anything else they'd like to add? If not, Danny, would you mind to lead us, please?
Most kind and gracious Heavenly Father, thank you so much for letting us gather out together here tonight. Thank you for all the many blessings that you bestow upon us each and every day. Please remember this land and country and all the things going on, Lord. Thank you for saving our souls. We ask you, Lord, to be with us tonight. Help us in the decisions that we have to make. Be careful. Give you praise, honor, and glory for all. In Jesus' name.
Amen. Thank you, Danny. Deborah, would you mind leading us in the pledge?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Commissioner Cash. Thank you, Commissioner Cook, for that. The next thing we have is a roll call, and I guess right now is as good a time as any. Let me explain to you guys how everything's working on here, because here in just a second you're actually going to take your roll call using the iPads. And commissioners at home, what we're doing, we're actually breaking out our new system here. It's called Roll Call Pro, and this is where when you guys are here in person, you're able to vote on the iPads, and it shows up on our new screens here. So you guys at home will not be doing anything different. We'll still do a vocal roll call for you guys. You will voice your vote, and Miss Amy here next to me will put it in, and it'll show up on the system. Now, those of you that are here, you'll actually use the iPads to do that. So, what's that?
Nothing's on the monitors here.
Okay.
There you go.
Okay. All right, and just like that happened, this is brand new, okay? So please bear with us. We are trying our best to learn this, but once we get it, I think you guys will find that it'll be really awesome, especially for the audience, and it'll be faster. But just to give you a quick idea on how we got here, as you guys see that the courtroom looks very different. We have our new monitors, we have the log on, and all this. Let me explain why. Our criminal court judge, Shane Sexton, asked me, because it's been several months ago, if we could do something to help with the jury trials up here. And of course, with jury trial, you're going to have social distance. As you guys can see, the chairs over here are mounted to the floor. So there's no way to move them around. So he asked if we could do something, and so we did. And what we're going to do is basically expand this. Instead of 3 rows or 2 rows, you're going to have 3 rows. They're going to be operable, movable chairs. You can see sitting right there. We're going to replace the wall in front of the jury box. And the wall will be made out of those spindles that are back there as well. They'll be painted black. And this wall here will actually be an operable wall that we can push back. When we're not having a jury trial, you can scoot back. We can put the chairs up here and have all this room for commission, for court, or whatever. And then, of course, a new wall will be built right across the front. That's actually going to start tomorrow. He was ready to go this weekend, but I didn't want to be halfway in the middle of it while we were having county court. So anyway, that's coming up. Now, as far as the audio visual, this is something I want to do for quite some time, and with Judge Sexton asking us to do this qualified for COVID. So we were able to do everything that you see here, as well as everything in the small courtroom, through a grant. We didn't pay for any of it. Well, we paid for it, but Union County taxpayers did not pay for it. This did not come out of Union County's budget at all. Zero money it cost us to do all this, and I'm very, very proud of that. So that's one good thing that we were able to get out of this horrible pandemic that's going on, but several grants too that we're able to do with this. But anyway, folks, this is brand new, so remember, just let's take our time and learn this. We've got Ginger and Heather here tonight to help the commissioners go through with their iPads. It may be slow going at first, but again, just keep in mind, this is brand new, and we'll get to it, we'll get there as we go. So as far as the roll call, Amy, how would you like to do this? Would you like to have the ones that are there ready to go to vote, and then we will call the rest?
They're not projecting out here yet.
You know, folks, before y'all got here, it was perfect. It was perfect, ready to go.
It's a no signal out here. Now it comes up.
Thank you. Hold on, folks. Technology's great when it works. Are all the iPads, are they connected? I promise it's really, really cool.
We'll see how it works.
But it never fails when you want a big presentation, it's all gonna be great, it's working, and then we'll get there. Let's do the roll call always, and then we'll move to the next one, is that okay? Candy, would you just do the roll call just out loud to everyone, and then we'll move on.
Okay. Jeff Brentley. Jeff Chesney.
Jeff Chesney, are you here?
Yeah, I'm here.
Danny Cook.
Here.
Bill Cox.
We can't hear her, I'm sorry, Jason.
That's okay, hold on just a second. Go ahead, Candy, try it again.
Bill Cox.
Mr. Mayor, you all just not. If you'll log them out, I'll go back in.
Hold on, guys, we're working on the iPad, give us just a second.
Just double tap the home screen and go drive.
Click, click.
And just put that up. And then you open it. Push your button.
Ginger, click it twice. No, the button.
Click on the MA down there at the bottom.
Okay, now push it up.
Can I don't hear one. Right now, hit the MA again.
There we go.
Sign in.
There you go.
Alright, hit sign in.
And when she calls your name, say it.
All right, folks, let's start the roll call over. Candy, will you start it over, please?
Jeff Brentley. Jeff Chesney.
Here.
Danny Cook. Bill Cox.
Here.
Earl Cox. Gary England.
Here.
Don Flatford.
Here.
Kenny Hill.
Good.
Janet Holloway. Sidney Jesse Jr.
Here.
R.L. Jones.
Here.
Deborah Keck,
Present.
Larry Lee,
Present.
Joyce Meltonberger, Becky Muncy,
Here.
and Jody Smith.
Here.
All right, thank you guys. Sorry about that. Sorry for the slow start. Okay, moving on to announcements. Basically, the courtroom updates, that was going to be my main announcement, so I moved that to the front. Basically, I don't have anything as far as major announcements. Does any other commissioners have anything? No? If not, we'll move right along. All right, next is approved list for public comments. Number 6, Ginger, do we have anyone? All right. Number 7 is to approve minutes of the November 23rd meeting. And before we start on this, Andy, you want to do the motion and the second on this? Give it a try. Right. Ann, are you seeing anything out there?
No, it's here.
Neither one.
It's got a no signal.
Okay. Okay. Ready? Will that do the motion in a second? All right, so we'll move on. We're going to voice vote on this one. So number 7 is to approve minutes of the November 23rd meeting. Do I have a motion to approve? Motion by Sidney Jesse. Do I have a second? Second by Ariel Jones. Any questions or comments? If not, all in favor, let me know by saying aye. Aye. Opposed likewise? Okay, motion carries. Number 8 is to approve notaries, and you guys have a list of those. We have 3 notaries to approve. We have Judge Darrell Edmondson, Alexa Manley, and Brian Phillips. Do I have a motion to approve? Motion to approve by Ariel Jones. Do I have a second? Second by Danny Cook.
It's working.
It's working, they're doing it.
Oh, they're doing it now. Okay. All right, all in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed likewise? Okay, motion carried. All right, moving on to number 9. Ann, are you seeing anything out there?
Now I'm seeing a white screen with the logo like that.
Okay, perfect. All right, folks, mayor's report. Those of you at home, you should have gotten an email with that today, so if you want to pull those up and look as we go, and folks, I'll project this on the screen. So just follow along with me here. If you have any questions, please let me know. As far as upcoming meetings for February, we just have our basic 3, budget, planning, and county commission. We called several chairs of different committees to see if they needed to meet this month. Most said no, but however, if you are a chair of a committee and you need to have a meeting, please let me know, okay? I can get it on the schedule, but as of right now, this is all we have going. But again, let me know if that is incorrect. Okay, the mayor's report. I got a lot to report. I'll go through quickly though. Just want to point out a few things under grants. The 3-star grant is complete. We've had that all finished up. Heather has to do a little bit more paperwork and that one is good to go. The CARES Act grant is complete. I checked the website today and it was, I think we are $15,000 from having our final payment in. And I want to brag on the finance department as always for the awesome job that they do, but especially Missy Brown, because Missy has been handling all of the CARES Act grant stuff, if you will, and the portal that goes along with it to put it in on the state side. And my goodness, there's probably, what, Ann, 50 or 60 projects. At that, I know there's 4 pages of it. That totals almost $300,000, and there is documentation on top of documentation that she had to do. And of course, the projects I wanted to do had to be the hardest ones, obviously, of course, that gave her so much trouble. But she worked through it. we got it done and we got it paid for, so hats off to Missy for that, so very excited about that. The CDBG grant, which will be buying a fire truck for Northeast Union Fire Department, the bids are ready to be published. Just spoke with, or East Tennessee Development District let us know that this weekend. So those bids are ready to go out. Also, potential grants, we're working on a grant right now through the Tennessee Arts Council to help with the Music Wall of Fame at the Farmers Market, and the max on that grant is $5,000, so hopefully we will be able to get that grant. And as you guys know, last year we were awarded $500,000 through the home grant that helps the Union County families either build a brand new home or improve their homes, and we are applying for that again for another $500,000. So hopefully we will get that, and that will be $1 million for Union County homeowners and folks who need that help, so that'll be amazing. And then the other two grants, environment conservation, and of course the local sports complex, those grants are in the works right now. All right, moving right along, county property. If you haven't been in the Paulette building lately, stop by or let me know. I'll give you the key, go look at it, because I'm very proud of it. The Paulette building is completely finished as far as the renovations go. The only thing that we lack now is the parking lot. We're going to have the parking lot redone and striped and look really good out there, ADA parking and all that. So Paulette building, everything's painted, brand new tables, chairs, brand new kitchen. It looks very, very nice. The Brock building is complete as well. Cedar Grove and Sharp Chapel will be completed this spring, and then the library complex, the painting should start on that any day now. Farmers Market, construction is underway, and the stage project, excavation has started on that. If you have any specific questions, just see me after the meeting. I'll be happy to go over anything. And I wanted to let everyone know about some bids that we're about to put out in the county. I met with finance last week about several projects that I want to do, and I do want to point out, and I wanted to make sure that that was listed on there, that all of these bids are completely funded by DAG, and that is a grant. That is actually the local government grant, which we call it DAG. So everything that you see there, about $200,000 in projects will be completely funded by that grant. So nothing coming out of general fund for that. So if you have any questions about these bids, let me know. These are projects that I outlined in the DAG report. I believe it was November that I gave that to you guys, letting you know what we're spending and where we were with that. So again, any specific questions, please let me know. All right, as far as attachments, just to show our sales tax is looking pretty good. Actually, through this pandemic, we have really not suffered that much. I actually had this highlighted, but of course when you copy it, it kind of runs everything together. But let's see if I can find Union here. So yeah, here we go. Union County for November, we were at 28%. Union County for December, now this is a huge jump for December. Our sales tax was up 66%. So that is really awesome on the comparison, so very, very good. And next, I've had a couple of folks, several commissioners actually, just kind of ask me about how tax collections look this year. I think the assumption is that we may not be collected as much due to COVID and things like that, so I got with the trustee just to get an idea of where we are, and we're actually ahead in collections, so I wanted to share that. Prior year taxes, which are our unpaid taxes, of course, you know, when you go in to pay your taxes, if you have a delinquent tax, you must pay that first before the current. So we are actually up $10,500 more this year than compared to last year on unpaid taxes. When you look at current year collections, at this point, we are up, I believe she ended the report, at the end of December, we were up $21,000. So, I mean, that's in the midst of a pandemic, we are still collecting our taxes actually above average. So that's really good, just so everyone knows our revenue stream is looking pretty good. All right, next you have two reports from Big Ridge Park, Keith Montgomery. I met with him a couple of weeks ago, and he was very excited to tell me all the different things that were going on at Big Ridge, and not only that, but actually the revenue that is coming in from state parks, and state parks are actually doing decent through the pandemic as well, and Big Ridge is no exception to that. So I'm not going to go through the detail on this, but at your leisure, just check this out. I think you'll be surprised looking at these numbers, just how much money our state parks bring in, especially Big Ridge right here for Union County. If you have any questions about that, let me know. If I can answer it, Mr. Keith at Big Ridge would be happy to. The next attachment I have is the report from EFRA, and I know there's been some discussion about EFRA probation and different things like that, and Ms. Phyllis Brooks, who is the EFRA probation officer, she gives me this report. I guess it would be quarterly for me just to look at and have an idea of what's going on. But I'm not going to go through all these lines, but I do want to point out on the second page, I circled it and made a little note here, but actually the court ordered payments from ETHRA totaled over $92,000, and those are court fees that are reported to Union County. We collect those, and that does go to the trustees for revenue, so just to point that out. And again, any questions on that, let Ms. Phyllis know. And this last page here, you can see it's all black, but I'm going to go here and show you a better one here. Ms. Garnett Sutherland, who is our health department director, she asked that I just let everyone know where we are with the COVID vaccines. And as you guys know, we are still in the first phase, which right now Union County is vaccinating people the age of 75 and older. So that's the phase we're in right now. But I do want to share with you guys this is the Union County website, and I shared this on Facebook, but now any resident in Union County can simply go to the website. You can see you have the big tab right here, click on that tab, and that's going to take you straight to the portal that you're allowed to sign up for the Union County Health Department, the waiting list. So help us get the word out. The folks just have to go to the website and log on and get that done. And of course, they can call as well. There is a hotline that they can call, and all that is on Facebook, or you can always check with the health department, and they'll be happy to show you that as well. So I believe that's all I have for my report. Anybody have any questions? If not,
I got a question.
Yes, sir.
That's people, I'm gonna sit here speaking office, if they purchase that, will that convenience center they
Well, here's the thing, Larry, and I'm actually glad you brought that up. Let me explain what I want to do with that. As you guys know, with the DAG grant, excuse me, I wanted to do something, try to do something for every community, every department in the county, if I could. So the folks in Speedwell, when I was first elected, I went over there and had a meeting, literally in a gravel parking lot with several folks over there, and just to express concerns, and they mentioned they would like to have a community center because they have a very small little voting building. If those of you have been over there, literally it's about the size of my office, it's very tiny. But that was one of the things they requested. So I want to try to do that for them. Now, as you can see, this bid that's going out, I'm going to do this a little bit differently because normally when the county looks for property, I go out, I need an acre of property in Speedwell. Well, you know what? No matter where you're looking, what happens when the county's looking for land? Prices go up magically, right? But I want to turn this around and do it another way just to see if it works. Instead of saying, you know, we're going to say Union County is looking to purchase property. If you've got property in the Speedwell area you would like to sell, an acre, let me know. And that way bids are coming in and offers are coming in to me. And that way I can look at those offers, see, and sometimes it becomes a bidding war on the folks who are trying to sell the property. So that's the approach that I'm taking on this. So of course this is all going to go out in February, but I do want to find some property over there to build a small building, maybe like the Paulette building, a little bit smaller, just simply for them to have something, a community center to call their home over there. So Larry, to answer your question, we really haven't looked at anything yet. This is just a proposal we're about to send out. So, but again, any questions on any of those bids, please let me know. I'll be happy to answer any questions. So now, any more questions? All right, if not, number 10 is the sheriff's report, and the sheriff he was unable to get his report together tonight. If you have any specific questions, see the sheriff, but we're going to move on with that. All right, number 11 is Mr. David Cox, Highway Superintendent. Every year at this time, Mr. Cox has to present the Union County Road List to Commission for your approval. So that being said, Mr. Cox, you have the floor, sir.
Y'all got a copy of it? Yes. Should be the same as last year. Our road commission is not approved yet. We're gonna meet Monday night. I don't know why they want to. It's supposed to be submitted in January. That's why I'm here. That thing approved.
You're in the new road, David, same as last year.
Do we have to approve it? Do we need to approve it here before you take it up there? Do we need to approve this?
Yeah, because it's supposed to be approved in January.
Oh.
We didn't meet, so, but we're gonna meet Monday night. I think it'll be all right.
Okay.
David?
All right, and I want to point out, thank you, David, the next step would be for a motion and a second, and check this out, our commissioners are getting this, all right? Thank you, Deborah and Sydney, you guys are awesome. Now check this out. So what will happen is, okay, for instance, David has said his thing, now it's up for a motion and a second. The screen will pop up, you can see Deborah made the motion, Sydney seconded that motion, and then Amy moves it to the voting part, and now we're getting ready to vote, okay? So what we'll do to make it easy, Those of you that are here will go ahead and vote, and Candy, you have a list of those at home, right? Okay, so those of you at home, we're gonna do a vote on you guys, so she's gonna ask for that right now. And this is to approve, the road list from David Cox.
Jeff Chesney,
Four.
Bill Cox, Gary England,
Four.
Don Flatford,
4,
Becky Muncy,
4,
and Jody Smith.
Four.
All right, yeah, go ahead, Candy, motion carries, right? You can see at the top, it's gonna total it for you. Do we have anything on these displays? Right here, okay, gotta work on that, all right. Good? All right, awesome, moving right along. All right, next, number 12, Ms. Ann Dyer, Finance Director. 12A is the monthly finance report, and I will put this up on the screen as well.
It's been a while, good to see you folks again. You have November's month end as well as December month end on how we stand with cash with the trustee and the spending month to date through December. Those were sent to you. Were there any questions about any of those reports? If not, we'll go on to budget now.
Is it titled Budget Amendments January All In?
Yes.
Is that it? Okay, thank you.
Okay. On page 1 of 7, we have the general fund. We also have general fund on the next page. I'm sorry, no, we don't. Page 1 of 7 is general fund. We are moving monies into the budget from the clerk's restricted funds, from the jail's restricted fund, insurance recovery funds received from the Tennessee Risk Management, and contributions to the libraries from the United Way, and adding revenue to the tire, from the tire tax into the tire lines that we give to,
Waste management, yeah, there you go, convenience center.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All others are just transfers within the appropriated budgets.
Okay, those of you on the iPads, if anyone would like to give a motion, Deborah Keck motion, Dennis Holloway second. Any discussion? If not, those of you here, go ahead and vote. And those of you at home, Candy, go ahead and do a roll call.
Jeff Chesney,
Four.
Bill Cox,
Four.
Gary England,
Four.
Don Flatford,
4,
Becky Muncy,
Becky, are you there? Becky Muncy? Go ahead, Candy, I'll try to follow that.
Jody Smith.
Four.
Hello.
Hey, Becky. Hey, we're voting on the first budget
Can't get
amendment.
the phones and iPads together tonight.
Yeah, I know. We'll get better. So we're voting on the first budget amendment.
I'm looking forward to it.
Good. Maybe we'll have it worked out by then. So the first budget amendment, Becky, do you vote for or against?
4.
Thank you. All right, motion passed. Next budget amendment, go ahead, Ms. Dyer.
On page 2 of 7, at the top of the page, is our capital projects fund. We're moving monies within the appropriated budgets and around within the DAG, which is direct access grant, and the state's grant as needed.
All right, we have a motion by City Jesse, second by Deborah Keck. Any discussion? If not, folks on the iPads vote. Candy, roll call, please.
Jeff Chesney,
Four.
Bill Cox,
4,
Gary England,
Four.
Don Flatford,
4,
Becky Muncy,
4,
and Jody Smith.
4,
Thank you. Next.
Bottom of page 2 of 7 is Fund 172, Industrial Community Development Fund, removing some outside of the contracts with private agencies into the engineering line.
Okay, we have a motion by Larry Lay, second by R.L. Jones. Look at you all with the technology. I'm so proud. Oh, that makes me happy. All right, so motion by Larry, second by R.L. Do I have any discussion? If not, iPads vote. Can you do a roll call?
Jeff Chesney,
4,
Bill Cox,
4,
Gary England,
4,
Don Flatford,
4,
Becky Muncy,
4,
Jody Smith.
4,
Awesome. Next, Ms. Dyer.
On page 3 of 7 is General Purpose School Fund. 3 and 4 are all general purpose and can be voted together. On page 3, we primarily have monies received from all the state fuel enrollment and CTE STEM startup grant funds to enter into the budget. All others transfers within the budget. On page 4, we have budget amendments, transfers all within the special education portions of the 141 budget, just transferring funds within those budgets.
Thank you. Motion by Cindy Jesse, second by Deborah Keck. Any discussion? All right, iPads vote. Candy, roll call.
Jeff Chesney,
4,
Bill Cox,
4,
Gary England,
4,
Don Flatford,
4,
Becky Muncy,
4,
and Jody Smith.
4,
Okay, next.
Okay, on page,
I don't see if the button works.
Yes, it works. Hey, quit touching stuff. We don't want to take that, okay? We're trying to make this smooth. Pay no attention to Danny Cook, all right? Move on. You're not talking, we're moving on. All right, go ahead, Ann.
on page 5 and 6 of 7 is Federal Programs Fund 142. Different sub-funds, primarily moving budget around on the top of page 5 and 7, moving funding around to maximize the spending of sub-fund 101. At the bottom of the page is sub-fund 931, entering into the budget, transferring funds within the ESSER grant as needed. On top of page 6 is sub-fund 932, moving monies around within the CARES Act funding that the school has received. The bottom of page 6 of 7 is entering into the budget the CARES Act technology grant the school has received, which will then be transferred into 177 as funds received and those will expand the capital projects for the schools.
All right, thank you, Ann. Okay, motion by Larry Lay, second by Kenny Hill. Look at Kenny Hill.
Ooh, Kenny.
Any discussion? All right, iPads vote. Kenny, roll call, please.
Jeff Chesney,
4,
Bill Cox, Gary England,
4,
Don Flatford,
4,
Becky Muncy,
4,
Jody Smith.
He's clear.
You have to let him speak.
Here.
Now vote. No.
Danny, you messed it up.
I told you.
I know, I told you to quit hitting buttons.
We're just trying to check it out, make sure it all works.
Okay,
Yeah, Danny. All right, motion carried. Next, Ms. Dyer. There we go.
Okay, on page 7 of 7, at the top of the page is Fund 143, the central cafeteria for the schools, moving monies out of their fund balance and putting monies into the Luttrell Elementary, Manual Elementary for food service, serving lines that were initiated in FY '20 but finished this fiscal year.
Okay. Motion by Deborah Keck, second by Sidney Jesse. Any discussion? Okay, iPads vote. Candy, roll call.
Jeff Chesney,
4.
Bill Cox, Gary England,
4.
Don Flatford,
4,
Becky Muncy,
4,
and Jody Smith.
4.
Okay, motion carried. Next, last one. Is that right, Ann?
That was
That was the last one, all right?
There's one on the bottom of the page, 177.
177.
Yeah.
Did we get that one?
Capital
There
projects,
you
177. Moving funds to purchase Promethean activity panels. And those are like large TVs, I'm told.
They are basically just like this, except they're touchscreen. Yes.
Okay.
And they're really awesome for the classroom. All right, we have a motion by RL, second by Kenny Hill. Any discussion? All right, iPads vote. Candy, roll call.
Jeff Chesney,
4.
Bill Cox, Gary England,
4.
Don Flatford,
4,
Becky Muncy,
4,
Jody Smith.
4.
All right, thank you. And next is surplus. Do we have any
There
surplus?
is no surplus to be replaced this month.
All right, and then the last one is the annual debt report. And I'm gonna switch screens here so I can show this as Ms. Dyer goes over it. So, every year, basically, the finance director has to give a report on the debt with the county and where we stand. So, Ms. Dyer, I'll give you the floor.
As I've said in years past, the objective of this is to be compliant with our debt management policy, also to help us make better decisions as we look toward future debt, and also to provide transparency of how we are in our debt. We currently have 4 either bonds or notes out. The highway note for the dump trucks will be paid off actually next month. And then the refunding debt for the Paulette Sewer, Big Ridge, and Sharps Chapel remodeling will be paid off in September 2026. I'm sorry, will be paid off in 2026. And the Paulette School will be paid off in September of 2026, which is actual fiscal year 2027. And the school energy bond will be paid off in 2030. On the next page, payments on page 3 of 7, we have a schedule of the payments, how they appear. Next year, our debt will be, in Fund 151 will be 57,000 less than it is this year, and how it changes over time. And also below that is the payment schedule, including the interest, showing which debts are out there and what year, what fiscal year they should retire. On the next page 4 of 7 is just a chart showing how our present debt is flow charting, how it's staggering down, and we should be out of debt at 2030. Page 5 of 7 just shows you the changes in how we pay, how much debt we've paid off each fiscal year since 2005. On page 6 of 7, we show a cash flow for debt service, which is our Fund 151. And that just shows you our actual funds received year-to-date on the top of the page through December, and our expected or projected revenue that we expect throughout the rest of the fiscal year. And then on the bottom section of that, it shows how we plan to spend those monies. On page 7 of 7, I just show some of our surrounding counties and how their tax structure compares to our tax structure. I always like to point out when we see that, for example, Knox County's tax rate is $2.12, but the value of their penny is $1,284,000, and ours is $213.99, and the value of our penny is $34,812. This comes from CTAS publication of county tax statistics. Campbell County reduced their tax. I actually called Jeff Marlowe and said what's going on, and they had retired a debt, and change their tax structure. In Granger County, as you can see, increased their tax structure by 38 pennies last year. So that kind of gives you an idea of how we look in comparison to all the counties that touch Union County. Any questions about our debt report? Thank you very much.
David, just to make sure that we have to have a vote on this to approve this, as long as it's
Put it in
we're okay.
the
Is that right?
minutes that it was discussed and presented and spread it on the minutes, copy it and give it in these minutes.
Okay, I just couldn't remember if we had to approve that or not. Okay, great, thank you very much. All right, number 13 is to approve or disapprove the lease contract renewal between the county clerk and Pitney Bowes. And Pitney Bowes is a postage machine post, just so everyone knows. So, I'm sure you have a copy of the contract. Do we have any discussion or anything on that?
I want to speak just a minute to that.
Okay.
As you know, every year, Gatsby law changes, and this year they are tracking any outstanding leases, and this is a lease. And basically, it's our postage machine. We have one here in the courthouse, the clerk has one there, we have one in ours. You can't buy postage machines, it's federal property, but we're leasing it. The only question in my mind is whether we lease it for 4 years or 5 years. But the breakdown is it's cheaper to lease it for 5 years than it is 4.
Now, I don't believe we can enter into a lease for over 4 years at a time.
Okay.
Yeah, we can't enter into one longer than your county commission term.
Well, so their term is only 2 years left.
Well, but it'd be a new county commission, they're 4 years, so
Okay.
4-year lease is all we can enter into.
Does that own anything, David?
Huh?
Does that own anything?
Then there's no decision to whether or not you approve them to have a postage machine for the next.
There's other ways to go about it if we publish it in the paper and go through signs, but it's simpler just to do a 4-year lease.
So can we vote on the 4-year, or have you contacted them about, is that okay, Ian?
Yeah, we have two options,
Yeah.
4 years and 5 years.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, so 4 years is,
Yeah.
that's what we can do, okay. All right, with that being said, let's see, we've already got that pulled up, so we have a motion by Sydney and a second by Deborah to approve. Do we have any discussion before we approve the contract? 4 years instead of 5, all right? iPads, go ahead and vote. Folks at home, Candy, roll call, please.
Jeff Chesney,
Four.
Bill Cox, Gary England,
Four.
Don Flatford,
4,
Becky Muncy,
4,
Jody Smith.
Jody, are you there? I think we've lost Jody. Hold on.
It's probably at work, ain't going far.
I'm sorry, but the person you called has a voicemail box.
All right, so Jody, I guess I'd step away. Amy, isn't there a way to put on there that he stepped away, just so that it's on the minutes? There we go, okay. All right, but even without Jody, the motion still passed, we're good to go. So, and that, I believe that'll be the last thing that we're voting on, is that correct tonight?
No, there's more.
I think that's it, isn't it? The opioid, okay, all right. So, okay, thank you, that's number 12 or 13. We're moving to number 14, old business. I don't have anything. Does anyone else have any old business? All right, new business? Anything? All right, now we're to number 16. 16, the addendum was added a little bit late, but I do want to welcome our assistant district attorneys, Tyler and Ron, from Jared Eckler's office. They're here tonight to talk to us about the opioid litigation that's going on. Probably a lot of you have heard this on the news and different things, so they're gonna shed a little light on this tonight and kind of give us some options on what we need to do. So if you wanna come on up, Tyler, and they've also talked to Attorney Myers about this, so basically this is just to fill you guys in. So Tyler, you have the floor, sir.
Thank you, Mayor, I appreciate it. I first want to apologize, obviously, I'm not my boss, General Ledford. He's actually en route right now from Cleveland County. It worked out to where there are actually three county commissions meeting on the same date on this same issue. So he started in Cleveland County where they began at 6, and he was going to try to make it here, but he's actually en route. So he wanted me to apologize on his behalf, and he very well might come walking in by the time I get done. But so in 2017, General Ledford, on behalf of the 8th District, filed a lawsuit against pharmaceutical companies under the Tennessee Drug Dealer Liability Act. And he filed on behalf of the 5 counties in the 8th Judicial District. And since then, there's been litigation at both the circuit court and appellate court level. And basically, it's been settled by the Supreme Court of Tennessee, which recently held that the district attorneys themselves, General Ledford himself, doesn't have standing to sue these under this act on behalf of his counties. And basically, the procedural issue that it created was that the Supreme Court said that the district attorneys couldn't file on behalf of the counties, but the counties themselves could agree to be plaintiffs in the lawsuit and to be represented by General Ledford as well as the civil law firm that is handling the litigation.
Can I interrupt one
Yeah,
second?
go ahead.
Joey, are you back?
I am, my battery died, I'm sorry, Jason.
That's all right. Becky, are you still there, Dawn?
Yes.
Okay, good. Sorry, Tyler, go ahead. My
You're
bad.
fine.
He just called in when you were talking. Go
You're
ahead.
fine. So, and if I miss anything, I can circle back to the folks that may have questions. But basically, the point of the litigation where we are now is that the firm that's been retained, which is Stetter, Stranch, and Jennings out of Nashville, that handles these types of lawsuits. There's been discovery, which is basically what the attorneys do in preparation for trial. That's been going on since 2017, basically, and it's not like restarting over. The case will proceed as it has been. However, the procedural, question that we would have and why we're here this evening is to basically ask that Union County be a resolution which we forwarded to Leases Myers to approve to basically take the place as the plaintiffs in this action and for the action to proceed. Now, I've got the civil attorney that is one of the civil attorneys that works at this firm. I've got him. I can call him if we have any questions. But basically, I don't want to say it's a no-brainer, but it would basically be Union County would be the plaintiff, and any monies that are received as part of this lawsuit, which was the intent from the beginning, was to this money to go to these counties, go to the counties to fight the opioid epidemic, would come to the county. And it would be basically a contingent fee basis, which means the county would not have to expend any monies in the litigation, but basically only receive money should there be recovery after trial. So that's the long and short of what we're here asking would basically be that Union County agree amongst these other counties, which, like I said, General Ledford, I just got a text a minute ago that Cleveland County did approve to do this in Cleveland County and to step in as the plaintiff. So that's what we're here to ask. I answered kind of any questions anybody would have, but it's basically it's a procedural issue that we've got to clarify in case we move on as it has been for some years now.
The money would be divided up between the 5 counties,
It
or
would
each
be-
county get a certain.
It would be divided up amongst the counties, my understanding. And I know that Fentress County, just got a text actually before I stepped up here, is also approved. So it sounds like probably all 5 counties are going to be on board with it, which, to answer your question, the money will be divided amongst the counties.
I got a question.
Yes, sir.
I noticed on these attorney's fees,
Yes, sir.
if for a cash settlement, they get 25%, do they charge for their actual hourly cost too? Or?
That's a good question. Now, what contingent means, which basically is the county doesn't ever owe anything on the front end, the money comes out if there was a settlement. And I'll circle back to the settlement in a second, but to answer your question, basically the fee would be 25%, and then whatever litigation costs that were forwarded as part of the ongoing litigation, so the costs that they incurred, filing fees and things of that nature. So there's not an hourly fee against the contingency. It would basically be it would be the 25% on top of whatever costs that were incurred by the firm at the time throughout the litigation. Now, I will say, I want to circle back to that because that's not the intent going forward, is to just get a lump sum settlement and take 25%. We're hopeful, I say we, meaning the civil firm that's handling litigation and General Effler, that all the fees will be paid as part of attorney's fees that are awarded in a lawsuit. So that's the intent, is for there not to be a lump sum that 25% comes out of. And again, that's probably about the most I should probably discuss it. We can call the law firm, the attorney from the civil firm, if you have any further questions about that. But I hope I've answered it sufficiently enough.
You did. Thank you.
Okay. Do we have any more questions for Tyler? Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, go ahead. Look at you using the, I really paid attention. Go ahead, Sidney.
Do you have any idea of what, on the litigation filings and everything, do you have any rough number where we're at right now?
Oh, what the fees are?
Yeah.
I don't. I can find that out for you, or like I said, I can get the attorney on the phone, and they may or may not have that number readily available.
So if we understand this right, if we're successful in the payment for the attorneys, they're going to get 25% of a dollar amount, that's the recovery, plus they're going to get filing fees and everything else on top of that 25%.
Yes. Yeah, they will get the 25% fee and then whatever, which is standard in contingency cases, usually that's how they do it. But as far as the number, I can't tell you, and because I just don't know.
Okay. Anybody at home have any questions?
I'm not really sure, what are we doing? Are we voting on something? Because it's sporadic on what we're hearing. I'm so sorry.
No, that's okay. It's Dawn, Tyler is just talking about the opioid resolution that should be in your package, just basically what the county needs to do. We're just discussing it right now.
Okay, thank you.
I got another question. Is, paying on the hourly basis, if we win, will the other party have to pay that, or will it?
That would be what they would pursue as far as the case. If it goes to a trial and there's a verdict against it, they'll proceed to try to get the other parties to pay for everything, including that.
In other words, if the lump sum is involved, the other party will pay the litigation, and they'll get 25% of that too.
If there is, if it's awarded by the court as far as attorney's fees goes, then those would come from the other side, come from the defendants.
It won't come from the county.
Should.
No.
And like I said, I practiced civil law for a couple of years, but I haven't been a civil lawyer long enough to answer many questions about whether the contingency fee will work beyond what's basically outlined in the retainer agreement, which is one of the documents that was forwarded as well. And again, they're not here, but they're available by phone, which is kind of how this is worked. If we have questions, I can call them and get them on the phone, and they'll answer whatever questions everybody's got before we ask for y'all to do anything.
David, have you read this?
I have.
Okay.
Let me make one comment on what RL's question was about the division of it. I would assume, and you all can tell me what you think about this too, that any division of these funds will be on a per capita basis. There's 5 counties in the district, but it won't be a fifth and a fifth and a fifth. It will be on your, based on population.
That's my understanding.
Yeah.
And maybe I didn't understand the question correctly, but no, I'm sure.
Go ahead, Steve.
If, let's say this, they try to settle outside court, which that's an option. If that comes to fruition, and would General Effler come and present to county commission, this is what they presented to settle with, and is that something we have to accept? or how would that take place?
Basically, if there was a resolution, would the county commission be voting to whether or not to agree to whatever the resolution was?
Well, if they reach a settlement agreement, so we're gonna offer to settle for this amount of money, and before the general effort could accept that, does he have to bring it back before us and us approve it, or anybody?
That's actually a good question. I'm not sure how, because, like I said, it being a procedural issue that the county is the ones that have to stand in the suit, you're basically becoming the plaintiff, and then general effort as well as those attorneys are representing you.
Right, but it's our call to make whether we want to settle or to proceed to court.
I'll have to ask, but I would say so, but again, I can call them.
You have to get every county involved on that. Would you have to do that, David?
I don't know how Jared's planning to handle that. He is the plaintiff in this case.
Okay.
So, it's not being, am I not correct?
Well, the issue is that it was filed that Jared for being the plaintiff, but the standing issue the Supreme Court raised basically.
You think these counties may be
Is that the
substituted as plaintiffs?
Counties will be, yeah, that's my understanding.
But my son and I, we have to be agreed. We just couldn't go out on his own, and so I guess that is my opinion, but I don't know.
And David, by approving this resolution, this just allows us to enter into this suit, is that correct?
And it authorizes Jared Effler as the Attorney General for this district and this law firm to enter our names as part of this.
Okay, and Tyler, this is basically what General Effler has recommended to all 5 of his counties, is that correct?
Yeah, and that's where the same documents been presented to each county for their approval,
Okay.
same resolution.
And folks at home, I apologize, this came in late today, so you guys did not get a copy of this resolution. Again, many apologies, but if you didn't hear me, basically this is allowing General Effler to represent us in the opioid lawsuit. That's basically through the entire state of Tennessee, is that right, Tyler?
Yeah, it's filed in Campbell counties, and it's actually would be a trial here in our district, which is obviously something we want to happen.
Okay, great. So, anybody at home have any questions before we move to a vote?
Jackson, this is Jody. I'm ready to vote, but is this similar to what we did before?
I don't know that this has ever been brought up as far as the opioid. You may be thinking about the cost share. I believe that's what it was between the drug task force. Is that what you're thinking of? Maybe this is a different one.
Maybe it's not.
Okay, no problem. All right, so people here. All right, looks like we have a motion by Sydney and a second by Janet. Do we have any discussion before we vote? All right, if not, iPads, go ahead and vote. Candy, roll call.
Jeff Chesney,
Four.
Bill Cox, Gary England,
Four.
John Flatford, Becky Muncy, Jody Smith.
Thank you. Number 17, we have no public comments before we adjourn. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I know hey, it's just a little, thank you, Tyler, I appreciate it. It's just a little bit after 8 o'clock. Look at this. We survived our first night using the new system. A couple of hiccups, these TVs going on and off, we'll get it taken care of, but thank you all so much. And number 8, do I have a motion to adjourn? Oh, look, we've already got it. Go ahead and vote. All you folks at home, if you want to go home, say aye. Aye. All right, great. Folks at home, have a great night.